and welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to play "'Tis the Damn Season" by Taylor Swift on the ukulele. Now we're going to be playing in the key of D minor, the original key for the song, and if you'd like to follow along to a lead sheet, I included a link to that in the description. And hey, if you're able to find this video useful at all, I would encourage you to please subscribe. Now let's get started. Alright, so just to give you a quick overview, I'm going to start by showing you all the fingerings for each chord, and then I'm going to break down each chord progression in each section, and then even give you a full run through of the song, and then near the very end, I'm going to show you a finger picking technique, a pattern that you can use for the entire song. So for the majority of this tutorial, I will be strumming, but again, if you wait to the very end, I'll be able to show you that finger picking technique that you'll be able to use over all these chord progressions that I teach you. Now, one last thing, I did include quick links to each section in the description below so that you can easily find the help that you need. Now the chords that we're going to be using today are C major, C sus4, F major, B flat major, D minor, and D minor 7 sus4, which sounds really crazy, but trust me, it's really easy to play. So starting with C major, all we do is place our third finger on the third fret of the first string, and it sounds like this. And then there's C sus4, which is very similar to C major. All we're doing is placing our third finger on the third fret of the first string again, and then with our first finger, we place that on the first fret of the second string, and it sounds like this. Then there's F major, in which we place our first finger on the first fret of the second string, and our second finger on the second fret of the fourth string, and it sounds like this. Then there's B flat major, which is a bar chord, so what we're going to do is place our first finger on all the strings of the first fret, then place our second finger on the second fret of the third string, and then our third finger on the third fret of the fourth string, and it sounds like this. Then there's D minor, in which we place our first finger on the first fret of the second string, our third finger on the second fret of the third string, and our second finger on the second fret of the fourth string, and it sounds like this. And then finally, there's D minor 7 sus4, which is kind of a mouthful, so for the rest of the tutorial, I'm just going to refer to it as D minor 7. So what we're doing is placing our third finger on the third fret of the first string, our first finger on the first fret of the second string, and our second finger on the second fret of the third string. And it sounds like this. So now the strumming pattern. Here's how it goes. We have down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up. Let me do that one more time. We have down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. So I'm going to play that a few times just strumming through so you can hear that. Alright, and now time for the chord progression. So starting off with the verse, we start with that D minor 7 chord, then we go to that C sus4 chord, and then just C major. Now when we add the strumming pattern, notice how we wait to play that C major chord until the very last two downstrokes. Here's how it goes. And here's how it sounds when we sing along. If I wanted to know who you were hanging with while I was gone, I would have asked you. It's a kind of cold, fogs up windshield glass, but I felt it when I passed you. And then we have the chord progression for the chorus, which goes F major, which we actually play twice. And then there's D minor, which we play twice. And then C major, C sus4, C major, and C sus4. So the C sus4 in the chorus is actually just used as an embellishment of C major, so very much like what we did in the verse, we're just playing those at the very end of the phrase when we get to those last two downstrokes. Here's what the full chorus sounds like with the strumming pattern. And here's what it sounds like with the singing. So we could call it even, you could call me babe for the weekend. 'Tis the damn season, write this down. Staying at my parents' house, and the road not taking looks real good now. It always leads to you in my hometown. And then after that is verse 2, which is played exactly the same as verse 1. And then following that is the second chorus, which is very similar, but there's just a slight difference. The only thing that we're doing differently is repeating that F major and D minor section. And then right after that is the first bridge, which goes D minor, which we play twice, and then C, which we also play twice. So here's what it sounds like when we strum it. And when we sing along, sleeping half the day, just for old time's sake. I won't ask you to wait if you don't ask me to stay. And then after that we have the third chorus, which has different lyrics, but don't let that confuse you because it's the same melody and the same chord progression. And then after that is the second bridge, which just goes back and forth between B flat major and C major. So here's what that sounds like all together. To leave the warmest bed I've ever known, we could call it even though I'm leaving, and I'll be yours for the weekend. 'Tis the damn season. And then after that is the final chorus, which is played exactly the same as the second chorus, where we repeat that F major and D minor section. And then just to wrap things up, we end the song by playing the same progression as the verse. So we have that D minor 7 chord, C sus4, and then C major. So now before I play the full song for you, I would like to show you a simple finger picking pattern that you can use for the entire song. So if you'd like to skip ahead to the full run through and play just the strumming part, feel free to do so by checking the quick link in the description below. But if you're up for the challenge, here's how to play that finger picking pattern. So when I'm picking, I'm typically only using the first 3 strings of a ukulele, and actually I'm able to leave my fingers on there the entire time. We have our thumb on the 3rd string, our index finger on the 2nd string, and our middle finger on the 1st string. And when we actually go to play those chords, what we're doing is always with our thumb going down, and with our index finger and our middle finger going up. So if you were to play all 3 strings at the same time, it would be like you're pinching them. Now when I explain this pattern, I'm going to be referencing the strings that we're using as 1, 2, and 3. So here's how the beginning of that pattern goes. We have 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Again, that's 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So we play through that part of the pattern twice, and then when we get to the very end, we just add on the 3, 2, 1, 2. So here's how that sounds all together. 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2. And now just to give you an example of what this sounds like in the actual song, I'm going to play this finger picking pattern over the verse. Here's how it goes. And just to play that a little faster, here's how it sounds a tempo. So again, you can use this pattern on the entire song. So now I would like to play the entire song so you can practice along with me. And that, my friends, is how to play "'Tis the Damn Season" by Taylor Swift on the ukulele. Now, if you found this helpful at all, I would encourage you to please subscribe as well as ring that bell. And of course, feel free to leave a comment letting me know what other tutorials you'd like to see me do next, and even leave a comment if there's something I may have left out or if there's something you need extra help with. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.